The Web by Jonathan Kellerman. Copyright 1996 by Jonathan Kellerman. This recording of the full-length reading of The Web was published by arrangement with Bantam Books, a division of Bantam Doubleday Dell Publishing Group Incorporated, and was produced in 1996 by Books on Tape Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. This book is read by Alexander Adams. Chapter 1. The shark on the dock was no monster. 4 feet long, probably a low-lying reef scavenger, but its dead white eyes had retained their menace, and its jaws were jammed with needles that made it a prize for the 2 men with the bloody hands. They were bare-chested Anglos baked brown, muscular yet flabby. One held the corpse by the gill slits while the other used the knife. Slime coated the gray wooden planks. Robin had been looking out over the bow as the Madeline pulled in to harbor. She saw the butchery and turned away. I kept my hand on Spike's leash. He's a French bulldog, 28 pounds of bat-eared, black-brindled muscle and a flat face that makes him a drowning risk. Trained as a pup to avoid water, he now despises it, and Robin and I had dreaded the 6-hour cruise from Saipan. But he'd gotten his sea legs before we had, exploring the old yacht's teak deck, then falling asleep under the friendly Pacific sun. His welfare during the trip had been our main concern. 6 hours in a pet crate in the baggage hold during the flight from L.A. to Honolulu had left him shell-shocked. A pep talk and meatloaf had helped his recovery, and he'd taken well to the condo where we'd stopped over for 30 hours. Then back on the plane for nearly 8 more hours to Guam, an hour at the airport bumping shoulders with soldiers and sailors and minor government officials in Guayaberas, and a 40-minute shuttle to Saipan. There, Alwyn Brady had met us at the harbor and taken us, along with the bi-monthly provisions, on the final leg of the trip to Aruk. Brady had maneuvered the 70-foot vessel through the keyhole and beyond the barrier reef. The yacht's rubber bumpers bounced gently off the pilings. Out at the remote edges, the water was deep blue, thinning to silvery green as it trickled over creamy sand. The green reminded me of something. Cadillac had offered the exact shade during the 50s. From above, the reef's ledges were coal-black, and small brilliant fish flitted around them like nervous birds. A few coconut palms grew out of the empty beach. Dead husks dotted the silica like suspension points. Another bump and Brady cut the engines. I looked past the dock at sharp black peaks in the distance, volcanic outcroppings that told the story of the island's origins. Closer in, soft brown slopes rose above small whitewashed houses and narrow roads that coiled like limp shoelaces. Off to the north, a few clapboard stores and a single-pump filling station made up the island's business district. Tin roofs glinted in the afternoon light. The only sign I could make out read, Auntie May's Trading Post. Above it was a rickety satellite dish. Robin put her head on my shoulder. One of Brady's deckhands, a thin black-haired boy, tied the boat. "This is it," he said. Brady came up a few seconds later, pushing his cap back and shouting at the crew to start unloading. 50-ish, compact, and nearly as blunt-faced as Spike, he was proud of his half-Irish, half-Islander ancestry and talkative as an all-night disc jockey. Several times during the journey, he'd turned the wheel over to one of the crewmen and come up on deck to lecture us on Yeats, Joyce, vitamins, navigation without instrumentation, sport fishing, the true depth of the Mariana Trench, geopolitics, island history, and Dr. Moreland. "A saint. Cleaned up the water supply, vaccinated the kids. Like that German fella, Schweitzer. Only Dr. Bill don't play the organ or no such foolishness. No time for nothing but his good work." Now Brady stretched and grinned up at the sun, displaying the few yellow teeth he had left. "Gorgeous, isn't it? Bit of God's own gift wrap. Go easy on that Orson. Fragile. And get the doctor and Mrs. Gear out." He glanced at Spike. "You know, Doc, first time I saw that face, I thought of a monkfish. But he's been a sailor, hasn't he? Starting to look like Errol Flynn." He laughed. "Too many hours on water turn a sea cow into a mermaid. Aye, here's your things. Lay that gently, Orson. Pretend it's your honey bunch. Stay there, folks. We'll unload it for you. Someone should be by any minute."